welcome back to another Random Sam Epic Mom, and today we're doing a baking one. What we are baking today is actually a blueberry Danish. Now, a little background for you guys. When I was going into the 8th grade, the summer before I was in 8th grade, I got to spend a month with my mom's side of the family, the Lukes, in upstate New York. And I was very lazy. I got very spoiled by my grandparents and such, hanging out with my cousins. And one of the things my grandmother got me was this cooking recipe because I was starting to get really interested in baking and everything. And in it, there was a recipe, this blueberry Danish. Now, we're going to make just a plain Danish and the blueberry Danish. But because we have to do both gluten-free and regular, it's going to be a little extra crazy. I do not have the original recipe anymore. I don't even remember which cooking magazine it came out of, but this is, I actually typed it up with a real typewriter way back when. So that's showing how old I am. But I have been doing this recipe off and on for over 20 years. I have not done it in a very, very long time. So we're gonna see if I can do it right or if I'm gonna screw it up. So, good memories with this, but again, let's see how I do it. We've got our bowls over here for the regular wheat flour, and then we've got our gluten-free over here. I'm trying to keep everything a little bit separate so we don't cross-contaminate. And as usual, if you are doing them both at the same time instead of just one then the other, one of the things I recommend is that always start with the gluten-free first. So if you're gonna do, okay, put the flour in, do it on this one. So, in the description, I will leave up the ingredients, the whole list. All right, so first part, we're gonna do the pastry part. And I think this is kind of cool because this is very cheese-based kind of dessert breakfast item. So we're actually going to have cottage cheese in the pastry. So, first thing we need, let's actually find the directions. All right, we're gonna need a whisk. Never have all the tools. So, we're going to need to whisk flour and baking powder and salt. Okay, so, how much flour do I need? So for the gluten-free one, I'm going to need 2 cups flour, guys. This is kind of cool. I love how the gluten-free ones come in these easy-to-manage little bags. This happens to be a great value one. They're very affordable. I happen to get most of my ingredients from Walmart. If you guys have seen my videos before, you know that. I do it for a couple reasons. One, I'm cheap. There's no other way to go about it. But it's also more affordable there. You can get gluten-free ingredients both online and at health food stores. This is just easier for me when I'm just already going grocery shopping. So. Alright. Half a cup. Wow. Oh, we had 1 cup left in this bag, so that's good. Alright, 1.5. flour in there, and then we're gonna want 2 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons of our baking powder. So this was a 2 teaspoon, and that's exactly how much we needed. So let's get this in the other bowl. Now, one of the things that I am doing here is because I have such a large family, I'm actually going to be making 2 regular Danishes to the 1 gluten-free one. Because there's a lot of people in my house, and if you don't have enough, there's no end to the whining, and I don't want to deal with the whining. It's just not fun. So, now we need a 1/2 teaspoon. Right, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And guys, just for reference, right now we're having all these food shortages and such, and you know, it just running out of stuff at stores easily. So if you happen to have a little extra money, getting something like salt, just an extra one of these. I'm not saying go out there and buy a ton, but like as you're doing your normal grocery shopping, maybe grab an extra thing of salt or an extra thing of sugar, just one thing. It's nice to have in case, you know, you run out. And real quick, I'm gonna load up this one over here with, again, since we were doing double the amount for the regular, I'm gonna do 4 cups of flour. Now that's another thing, again, I'm bringing up lots of random facts today, but another thing I love about doing baking, and normally why I encourage my kids to do baking with me, is that math-wise it really helps with them learning how to do their fractions, things like that, and it's just fun. So, okay. So in both bowls we've got our baking powder, we've got our salt, we've got our flour. We're supposed to whisk it all together. And this really is, it doesn't take much, guys. All right, next. All right. This recipe calls for pureeing cottage cheese. Yeah, I don't do that. What? I like the texture of the cottage cheese, but for this one, we'll do at least a little bit. All right, forget it. I'm not pureeing this. I never do. So, okay. In the second bowl, you're supposed to, puree up the cottage cheese, but since I don't do that, we're just going to skip that part. But we still need, let's see, 3/4 cups of cottage cheese. That's 2/3. Ah, here's the 3/4. All right. So. All right, now we're gonna mix in sugar, milk, oil, and vanilla. Okay. I forgot the milk. It's okay. So sugar, how much sugar do we need? 1/3. How much milk? How much milk? 1/3 cup of milk. Okay. Now, I will say this, if you are making two of the exact same thing but using different ingredients, it's great to do it at the same time because that way you don't forget, okay, everything's the same except for the flour. Okay, well, we've done the flour and now we're doing the same thing, so you don't forget an ingredient. So, 1/4 cup of oil. Teaspoon. Okay, it is a teaspoon. Okay. And guys, it's really easy to think you saw tablespoon or teaspoon, but it does make a difference. Now the whisk you use for the flour, you can use again for this. Now, it might not seem like it, but even just using a whisk, you can kind of puree up the cottage cheese a little bit. I like the cottage cheese texture though, so I prefer not to puree it. Now, you want to get this as smooth as you can. Again, if you process the cottage cheese, then it's not bad to do, so. Alright, now mix them together. If you're using a food processor, it's easier to dump the flour into the food processor. Since I prefer just to whisk it, I just pour the wet into the dry. And as you can see, I'm making a mess. Hence why the apron. Now you're really just doing this until it kind of clumps together. Alright, the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna want, once it starts clumping together, you're gonna knead it a little bit. But it's good to knead it on lightly floured surface so that you don't end up, making it stick to the surface. Also, putting a little flour on your hand is a good idea because it just does. Now, as you can see, this is mostly just kind of a clumpy thing. It's not really put into pastry yet. I'm also kind of squeezing out all the parts from this. So, as you can see, just dump the rest right here. Now, with this one, yeah, you're going to knead it a little bit, which kneading is pretty much just working it together, but you don't want to over knead it. I know it's kind of a fine line, but there you have it. Once you've kneaded it up a little bit and kind of turned it into this clump, I mean, it's almost a ball. Not quite, but almost there. You're going to want to put it into more of a disc. Now what we're using are these cheapy, one-time use foil ones. But once you kneaded it up, kind of turn it into a disc. I do more of an oblong disc, an oval and such, than an actual, you know, circle. And another reason why you don't want to knead it too much is because even just putting it in this little disc shape, you're going to be kneading it a little bit. All right. Next part. So we're gonna stick this in the fridge. I won't even make you watch me do the other one. But again, until we need these again, having these chill is a very good idea. That's what they recommend. So as you can see more of the cottage cheese texture in this than you normally would if you pureed it, but it worked. Okay, part 2. We're gonna make the cream cheese filling. So 2 bowls for the cream cheese and such that we'll mix up. But before we get started, one of the things that this needs is lemon zest or lemon rind. So, taking just a handheld one, use the tiniest part. As you can see, you'll have a tiny little yellow part there that you can wipe in. Now, we're going to end up needing a total of 6 teaspoons of lemon zest. So that pretty much means you're going to need to take at least 2 of these lemons and just pretty much go to town. That's just a key example. We'll get back to that. Alright. Now, for the cream cheese filling, we're doing 3 of them. But we're going to have them in separate ones because, well, I'm lazy. So we're going to stick four ounces of cream cheese in one bowl. And a full 8 ounces in the other bowl. Now we're going to need a quarter cup of sugar. And of course, since we're doubling it off for the wheat one, gives us a half cup. Again, all these people are like, when am I ever going to need fractions in life? Guess what? You need fractions. You know how to add and subtract those. Alright, sugar. Okay. All right, once you cream the cream cheese and sugar together, let's see, we gotta add our lemon zest, vanilla, and egg yolk. Now this is the one that comes in handy. You need a little bowl for the egg white. Egg white into this little bowl, and then dump the yolk in with the cream cheese. As you can see, we got a little cute little bowl here. The egg white, that's in there. That's 2 teaspoons of lemon zest and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. As you can see, you've got a little cream cheese mix. It's very delicious, very sweet. We're gonna actually chill this for at least a half hour, if not longer. And that also kind of gives you once you're done doing this, a chance to kind of clean up your area so that you're not just going to keep adding to it. And it also gives you a break to just kind of relax. So we're going to do our other one and then let these chill. Now again, do not throw out your egg whites. The egg white you're going to need right before you do the baking. So again, put these in the fridge, cover it up if you want, leave it open. Doesn't matter, they're only going to be in the fridge for maybe a half hour or so. So I'm going to get doing on the next one, but you got the basics here. Let's get them chill and then we'll get to the third step. Okay guys, time for the third step. Now, right now we're just doing the gluten-free one. Now, some people, instead of laying it out on the sheet like this, they will put it in a ball and let it, cool that way and then roll it out. This one, we just kind of skip that step. Now, while this has been cooling, if you haven't, do it right now, the 400 degrees temperature on your oven. Now, this one is going to make it kind of neat. At least I think it is. What we're going to do, we're going to take our cooled down cream cheese mix. We're going to kind of spread it along the center. Now, normally this would be the part where I put the berries on, because this is the gluten-free one, and my kids have asked for no berries. No berries will be put on. Now, here's the part that's neat. We're going to cut diagonal lines to fold over. Now, for every line you have over here, you need to have one on the opposite side. Okay, so 1, 2. Now, with the gluten-free one, the crust will sometimes come apart because that's what gluten-free flour does. But we're kind of crisscrossing it over. If you stick around, you'll see that it's actually a lot easier to do this with the regular wheat flour. But again, I've got kids with celiac, so what you gonna do? here is the egg white from earlier. You can just kind of stir it up a little bit, and then you paint it, kind of glaze this. It'll actually help brown up the dough. Once you've gotten it all coated, put it in the oven. Ooh, let's see. For about 25 minutes. As you guys can see. Okay, so this time we're going to take our bowl full and cut half it between each one. So as you can see, we've got the cheese. Once again, we're going to be cutting slits along the side. Need to be about 45-degree angles. And you got to be even on each side. Now, in order to make this special, one of these, this one right here, we're actually going to put berries on. Now we're going to put blueberries on half of it, but we're also going to put raspberries on the other half. I like to do this because it kind of gives you something sweet and the flavors mix together really good in the middle, but it also gives everybody their separate flavors. And with something like this, I do recommend fresh berries, not frozen. Because the frozen ones will be too liquidy and it'll just soup out everywhere. Soup out everywhere. It's also fun to use these type of berries for, you know, like things like 4th of July and things like that, because they're really fun to decorate cakes and pies with. During the winter time like this, it's just nice to have some fresh berries. It really, it makes a difference. And again, this crisscrossing, it looks nice and it gives you a little bit of extra pastry on top. While this is cooking, because it's going to be in there for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on your oven, what you can do is the lemons that we used earlier for the lemon zest, we will now cut in half and use fresh lemon juice to do with some powdered sugar to make our glaze that will go on top of this. So not only is it sweet to begin with, now we've just added a little bit extra sugar. Hence why this can be either a breakfast item or just a dessert. Now once again, we're gonna baste it with the egg whites here. All right. Let's get these in together and then we'll start on our icing. Now, while that's baking, you can use a specific amount. Me, I just do kind of pour it in and hope for the best type thing. And I've seen people do powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar with lemon juice, milk, or water. With this one, I found that using the lemon juice really is an awesome thing. So, Cut your lemon in half. You've already, you know, pretty much used the skin for the zest, and squeeze it in. Now, when I was younger and living at home with my parents, I would con my younger brothers into squeezing the lemons for me to make them feel big and strong.
I'm not.
Oh, you're in the show now. I got one seed in. Alright, don't need that seed in. Alright, and it's pretty much, baby, back off. It's just putting a little juice in with this. You stir it up and it turns into icing. Test it occasionally to see if it's too lemony or too sugary. It's all about personal preference, guys. You know I'm a big proponent of that. But that big amount of sugar just turned into this amount of icing. Once the Danish is out of the oven, this will be drizzled on top of it and just kind of melt into the crevices. So for now, let's just wait until our Danish is done. So like this, we might want to turn it and give it another 5 minutes.
5 minutes later.
Alright, got it nice and browned. Not too bad. And this is our gluten-free one to start with. Now the gluten-free ones usually end up taking a little bit more time because a denser type of flour. So, using our already made. It doesn't take a lot, you guys. And that is one down. We got 2 more to go. Here is a regular cheese one. And then here is our blueberry raspberry one. And remember, turn off your oven because I have forgotten and it's not comfortable on the bills or on the heat in the house. Now let them stay out to cool for about an hour, and then you can wrap them up and put them in the fridge. Mostly I do that so that, you know, animals don't get at them. Now, especially drizzling on all this stuff, guys, we didn't use that much sugar in making this. Most of it is flavoring of the natural variety. This is how you make homemade Danish. Okay, so we're doing the final test, which is the taste test. These have been in the fridge all night. Now this one is our gluten-free one. So I think we should get the first bite to Isadora. You're gonna get yours in just a second.
Okay. Thank you, Mom.
I don't know how much of the cheese it's got in there. Ty, do you want one? You want the berry?
Okay, what do you think, Izzy?
Very good. I want the cheese.
Very good.
Now my turn.
Sure.
Okay, well let's cut the gluten-free one up a little first so that we can focus on the other one. Well, obviously I'm not very coordinated with that.
What do you think, Ty? Not your thing?
Yeah.
Cream cheese filling, or is it the dough that you're... That gluten-free stuff is a little different.
Yeah, I don't. It just doesn't work very well together.
I see.
At least to me. It doesn't.
Alright, you two. Do you want the berry or do you want the cheese?
I want these. I want the cheese.
Okay, watch out. Babe, you can't just be right up on Mom.
What do you think,
Sin, you want berries?
Cheese.
Or cheese. Okay.
I like the cheese.
Good dough is way denser.
I hope this kind of frozen.
It's like super
Got lemon in it.
It's kind of like the store-bought one, but a little different.
Mine's okay.
2 dense of flour.
Yes.
Yeah, well, here, hold yours up next to Sin's and you can see the difference between the rice flour and the...
Yeah. Gluten-free stuff kind of does that.
Yeah. You want the blueberry or raspberry, babe?
raspberry, please.
Alright, so, enough for everyone. Oh. Definitely good. You guys.
Do it again.
Hope you guys enjoy. I hope this comes out good for you guys. See you guys next time. Bye. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. Please check out our other videos already on YouTube. And give us a like and subscribe. And if you hit that bell for notifications, you'll know when we put something new out. So try to make every day matter by finding the fun. You guys have a great one. Bye.